Hi, I'm Katrina Kaif and welcome to Friday Night Lights, and I am your weekend guide for this weekend. I think sushi is one of the best foods you can eat. It's healthy, it's tasty, and Japanese cuisine generally has so much choice, whether you're a vegetarian or whether you like meat or just fish. It has something for everybody. So I think it's really one of the most, it's one of the easiest places to take everyone out, for a meal. Well, I think the secret to staying in shape is something very simple. We often look for shortcuts and easy solutions, but it's actually just the basic one, that's actually going to the gym. We usually spend too much time trying to find fancy workouts or trainers, when actually if we just spent half the time in the gym, I think it would be fine. And nowadays there's so many kinds of fitness that you can go into if you don't like cardio. There's Pilates, there's yoga, there's functional training, there's group training now where they do more kind of what you call boot camp kind of workout. So there's really something for everyone, so there's really no excuse.
Functional training is a concept that exists around the world. It also exists in India. From when I was growing up, more important than having a good body, I was a sports person. I used to play football and hockey for my school. I trekked a lot. I was an outdoor person. So for me to go to a gym and build a body, I just found a bit monotonous. For me to have a fit, strong, agile body is more important. First of all, try and get a personal trainer who you can trust and who you know that knows his stuff. Secondly, I would suggest also you know your own body well.
Purab in an advanced stage, I'm giving him a time limit. Like in 3 minutes, you have to finish 3 exercises. After 3 exercises you finish, he'll take 2 minutes rest. Drop.
You're building on strength, you're working on agility, you're working on speed, you're working on power. The first thing I did was something called the clean and press, the weightlifting thing, the weightlifters lifting up the weight. I love it. It's one of my favorite exercises actually, because it activates a lot of your body, right from your hamstrings. You're going into a squat position, so you're activating your quadriceps also. Even your glute muscles are being activated, that's your buttocks. Your hips, of course, are activated because of the swinging of the hip motion. Your core, you're using your back because you're lifting up, you're using your shoulders. It's like a package deal. It's like a good holiday. When I used to do it alone, there was a lady in the gym and she used to call me monkey. She used to keep coming in and saying monkey, and she said, I hope you don't mind. I said, no, I take it as a compliment. Then there's of course the back rowing. So the back rowing is mostly on your back, and then in the second set he made me start pulling my leg in. Squat ball that we did. I mean, it looks pretty simple, but try standing on that ball. It's like just standing on that ball is one exercise by itself, and then squatting on it is a whole other ball game. The burpee, which was basically bringing up your heart rate, he had combined it with the push-up also, so you're doing a little bit of a chest workout. That's a great exercise. It's like really chopping wood. It's going down and you're using your whole core. I was activating my hamstrings, my glutes, my quadriceps, my obliques, my shoulders, my upper back. The last 3 exercises we did were completely focused on the core, no other muscle, which was the holding the plank. Also, after doing it right, there's a lot of recovery that the muscle needs to go through. He made me do the roller, which is actually really releasing the lactic acid that's getting caught up in the muscle because the muscle is being used a lot. They're wonderful exercises. They try and push you to a limit where it's taking your heart rate very high and gives you then 2 minutes of rest to recover, which is what is building your stamina. Your stamina really is how much time you take to get your heart rate back to normal. That's what defines your stamina. Another very important thing, especially when you're doing such high intensity workouts, is a cool down. It's even more important than a warm-up. I've reached a point where if I don't work out, I feel like my day is not started. I don't get tired after the gym. I'm ready to take on the day. I've got a lot of energy through the whole day. Your body has something called muscle memory. If you don't use particular muscles, they disappear. If you use particular muscles, you keep reminding your body, you walk differently, you stand differently, you do things differently. And that makes a large of a difference in aesthetic sense, definitely.
Fads are called fads because they're exactly that. They're not possible to remain on them for a long time. So I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. If there's ever anything that I want to get into shape for. Now, of course, after a few years of trial and error, now I just kind of I would take about 2 weeks, eat very sensible food, exactly what you would think of, eating fish, salad, cereals, just clean, decent food, and going to the gym. That's really like, it's a simple regime, but it works. I think my favorite getaway place would be a place called the Isle of Wight. It's a half-an-hour ferry ride from Southampton, which is near London, England, of course. And I choose that place because whenever I do get time off, which is rare, I usually have to spend it with my family, or I'd like to spend it with my family. And of course, we don't always want to just be in London, and we don't have the time, or you don't want to go dragging 9 people all off to some foreign destination. So it's a place that we go. It's by the beach. The Isle of Wight is obviously surrounded by water. It's like one of the sailing kind of hubs of Europe, and it's beautiful there. And it's just, you feel like you've gotten away, but yet we're still very close to home, and it's easy to get to. So that's yeah, my secret destination.
Yes, after shooting in some of the most exotic locations in the world, from Spain to Egypt, for Katrina, home is where the heart and the holiday clearly is. The Isle of Wight is located near Katrina's hometown London, and with all that travelling under her belt, who can blame this gorgeous actress for not being in a race to clock more air miles in her downtime?
I think when people think of girls shopping, they think of shoes, they think of clothes and handbags. I've never really been into shoes or handbags. For me, from a very young age, I was into cars. Obviously, that's a bit much of it's a bit of an expensive pastime. But once I started working, I did save up, and I really did a lot of research, and I thought about the car. I saw a lot of cars that I want. So I'd probably say my biggest investment as such that I bought something for myself would be my car, which I love.
Chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang.
With that one song, Caractacus Potts proved that sometimes, just sometimes, an inanimate box with a few wheels underneath had more personality than many of the actors who worked alongside it. And while we've come a long way since this old jalopy, we've had more than a few charismatic cars keeping pace with the stars they drive. In Anjana Anjani, we're introduced to Blush, a classic Ford Falcon looking to join the ranks of the other great automobiles of the big screen. Those special few who have forever parked themselves in our memories and roar into the sunset in every young boy's dreams. There were many contenders for this list, so before we step on the gas, let's pay quick tribute to the other legends. So pop yourselves into first, and let's have a look at some of these classic turbocharged chariots. We begin with a car that takes nostalgia to a whole new level. 5th place belongs to none other than the DeLorean DMC-12 from Back to the Future. Who can forget those gull-wing doors and the blazing tire tracks it left behind as it hit 80 miles per hour? As the doc so rightly said, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style? In at number 4 is the little love bug known as Herbie. When it came to taking on a personality, few cars did it as uniquely. Herbie was born in 1963 to the Volkswagen family. He went on to live a thrilling life, winning races, taking part in demolition derbies, and saving the lives of his fleshy loved ones on a number of occasions. Known for his quirky and somewhat temperamental attitude, it's fair to say that we all went bananas for this fully loaded Beetle. Spot number 3 goes to none other than Bumblebee. What he lacked in voice, he made up in great choice of radio. Not to mention the fact that he turns into an 18-foot tall Decepticon butt-kicking robot. He is a Chevrolet Camaro who began as a busted-out 1969 model, and then got the mother of all makeovers in the 2005 live-action version of Transformers. And let's face it, anyone who happens to own a Camaro has definitely thought about splashing out $1,000 for the special edition paint job at some point. Shame that grand doesn't get you the emotional attachment of the original. breaking down and crying when told to stay behind.